of the Mona's Legacy audiobook from the Little Trap Schoolhouse series because grown folks, grown niggas can't read, child. Shenanigan calamity, but let's get into the story. When you left off in the first part, I believe we'd gotten up to the point where old Mona was on the dope, and I gave a few high points and different things. So let's delve into her story more. Mona had a child by a returning war Vietnam soldier. She was 14, he was 27. No one batted an eyelash. He tried to be a decent, respectable perv. The instant she turned 18, he married her in his mama's living room and backyard or something or another. So moving on, by the time she was 21, she was full-fledged on several drugs and had a second child that may or may not have even been his and is still up for speculation nearly 40 years later. There's was an incident where it snowed there in Mainville, and he came home from working somewhere, and she was in his house because by then his mother had, I believe, either moved out or passed away, but they were living there somewhere. And he came home and she was in his bed with another man asleep and they had been doing drugs. And the toddler iteration of my future bad Virginia ham sandwich decision and the infant, which is there unattended, and he kicked them all out in the snow. This is a vivid memory in bad pussy decisions. Tell us about your childhood moments. But as time went on, she was just never really interested in being a mother until the children got past the ages of really actually needing active, constant attention. By then, though, it made no difference because she had already poisoned them by teaching them deleterious things like how to commit burglaries, how to steal cars. What else did she tell me? She taught them anything that children should not be taught. This woman taught it to her children. And I believe she broke the record for being the youngest crackhead that I even interviewed for this project. Because by the time she was like 19, she was already on crack pills, heroin, weed, and something else. LSD, acid, whatever acid is. I think they said it came on paper and you had to eat it or something to get intoxicated. But this woman was like barely a girl and on all of these drugs, and it went on for years. Like there was never any attempt at an intervention. She kept having children. Some of the children were defective and nobody stopped it. And I tell younger ladies all the time now, if you meet a young man and his mother was not an adult when he was born, scoop, scoop. That is a recipe for disaster. Them people grew up together. He only knows what she knows and she don't know shit. And she trained him. And she trained him to be loyal to her. Leave that woman and her brother husband the fuck alone. Her brother husband's son. So Mona and her brother husband's son, only 14 years apart, grew up as a dynamic duo of committing burglaries, car thefts, drug deal slash robbery slash prostitution, just ridiculousness. So I'll explain. She and her sister would report themselves as prostitutes. They would catch the trick. They'd get the trick in the room. They start turning the trick. Right about the time the trick gets in a relaxed state of turnness, then out he pops and robs the tricks of whatever they got. And then him and the mama and the auntie and the cousin, because it's him and his mama and her sister and her son. They was like a just a, oh my God, I don't even know how to explain it. This is so exasperating. But moving on, it was just trifling. And this started from the time that they were children. They were like 8, 9 years old, and their mothers would take men into low budget hot sheets hotel rooms and have them under the bed. I don't have any proof, but I'm just glad someone did it. Shit like this is the reason why you cannot stick anything under a low budget hotel room bed anymore. That and dead bodies. But it was like the so many stories. There's so many stories these people told me to go in this bullshit book, y'all, to where I don't even want to tell them all. Some of them are so trifling that I'm ashamed on their behalf because they had no shame in to tell me shit like this right here. And I'm going to do my best because there's some people that know these people, that know that these people are real people that actually contacted me yesterday. So I'm going to mock this woman for the benefit of just that person who is going to be listening. She sat there, she said, yeah, girl. I come home one day. I was working down here at the bus station. And I come home and girl, they had that took that whole damn ATM machine and had it in my living room. And I said, oh shit. And then that shit, we had a time getting that thing open. We had a time. Ooh, did y'all go to France to get the goddamn shit? Who the fuck is we? You helped them get it open, and you supposed to be the mammy? But continue, Miss Tacky Mammy. You want your book about your life, but you couldn't even read the motherfucker. I later found out. The subject of this book is currently a how old is she? 67-year-old woman, and she can't read past third grade level. But someone told her that her incredibly tacky life deserved to be commemorated in a book. Neither she nor the demographic, mostly, they'll be interested in such a ridiculous ass story could even read the motherfucker. That is why we're here on YouTube, people. I'm just taking a brief little intermission because I'm flipping through some little notes here to see which one of these trifling ass stories that I want to tell y'all next. Because it's only this bitch's story. This ain't got to be professional like I'm doing this for Quan Mills or somebody with Miss Vanitas in the pussy. That was one of the best ones right there. Hold up, let me see. They did so much retarded shit. Oh, let me see. Yes, the cool kid, she's 67, and if your third grader, anybody past the third grader need any help with their homework, they fucked over to grandmama's house. She won't be able to assist them with shit. The woman can't, we're going to get to it. While I'm trying to see which trifling ass story I want to tell involving her and her family, I'm going to tell you the story that triggered this listener to call me yesterday. She called me, she said, she said, what's going on? Is what I mean? I said, shit, you got it. So she congratulated me on my new marriage and da-da-da-da-da, and I introduced her to my husband. So she said, she told her partner, she said, this the one I was telling you about. We went over to that bitch's house, and it was some holiday or some Sunday or something, and the bitch had cooked some chicken dressing, and it looked like clam chowder. Man, it was white and chunky and wiggly as shit. I could not tell. I have a licensed chef with a culinary degree. Not to mention, I can cook country nigga food and foods from 17 different cuisines. I could not tell an illiterate, tacky bitch. Because that picture of her in the thumbnail, oh, that was her finest moment. Or so she thinks. She got this shit blown up and hung up in her house like it's Scarlett O'Hara. If y'all, I don't know, I figure out how to upload it to the community notes pages so y'all can see this full cover of this fucking shit since YouTube flipped it in the middle of the full book cover. Oh, she thought she was hot shit popping with a whole $100 bill in her hand right there above the top of her little antique coot newt. I said, oh my God, her old hooker ain't shit in the world. Right now, at the good old age of 67 years old, and Lord, in the name of Marvin Sapp, I'm shocked she made it, child. She still be out there trying to pelt them Virginia ham sandwiches to them old men when they get their pensions and shit. You ought to. I'm gonna get two pictures and put them in the community notes for y'all. Oh, she puts this old red ass lipstick on, and you know at 67 that hair gray as shit. She dyes it jet black. She didn't even try for a natural tone. Oh, and she puts on this jet black ass wig and this red ass lipstick, these tight ass motherfucking cheap ass granny thought suits at the city trends. And I mean, she be on them old men's asses at the check cashing spots in the corner stores and liquor stores and lower budget ass juke joints, all about the poor warrior in the land of Mainville. I have never seen such, but until I did. Sidebar to her. She is her. Lord knows that woman is a trifling, ridiculous, regular ass old dino thoughts, is what we call them for the book. But she's not an anomaly, especially in a place like that. By the numbers, there's at least about 50,000 of this old whore roaming around out here and throughout creation, causing chaos because we're going to get serious for a moment because fuck her. The wretched she was just to bring it in is they said be wretched and be serious. Exponentially speaking, because so many surveys are done on children, prisoners, people in everyday life, folks you can convince to do a survey for a $5 worth of Amazon gift card. The villain in niggerdom is the nigger's mammy, y'all. The villain in niggerdom is some ridiculous ass nigger's mammy, just like her. The next villain is her oldest daughter. That little hierarchy in niggerdom of ridiculous mammy, trifling son, oldest daughter caping for both of them has destroyed the village. Now, these same people, them same three ignorant motherfuckers, also have to go out here and interact with the rest of society. So you better believe they being ridiculous on their jobs, in the schoolhouse, and everywhere they go. They is just nigging their asses off. And the shit spreads. And nobody never wants to call nobody out on their bullshit. If anybody along the chain of this woman's fuckery from her own creation all the way down to every mistake she made with that Virginia ham sandwich would have stopped her at any single point in time, untold amounts of people would not have been affected by the negative actions of just her and her offspring. One of my brothers-in-law has been arrested 103 times. Coincidentally, this same motherfucker done did a total of 15 years in prison and is barely 40 years old. So you have to wonder, goddamn, if he did 15 in, when the hell what was he doing when he was out? Nothing but getting arrested constantly and frequently for the same shit. And it was all a niggering. And she will cape for the nigger. Ain't no way. One of his grandest niggerings was because of this woman. She went and party crashed at a child's birthday party, and when the child's actual grandmother and her sisters whooped that woman's ass up at the venue, as they should have, he went back up there and shot the little girl party up. And then she hid him in her empty ass deep freezer when the cops came looking for him after his parole officer identified him from the surveillance camera footage on the news. Where you see an ignorant ass John Aquarius, where you encounter an ignorant ass nigga, where you have to be the victim of sheer ignorance, the Bible says, thereto shall his mammy be also, condoning and enabling his bullshit. Stay tuned for part 3.